Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me. I hope you are comfortable. I hope you're cozy and you have a drink. I certainly do. I am not going to make this mistake again, as I have done before with large haul videos, because this is a big one. So I am a big fan of Christmas. I love Christmas. I end up taking most of December off as paid leave, and because of that I end up accidentally sort of going to manga shops a bit more often than I usually would. I save up a bit for Christmas as well, so I can buy a little extra as like a treat. Yes, so December's haul is a big one, but it is such a good one as well. I hope you're excited. I'm excited, and I already know what I got, and I've already read a chunk of it, but I'm still excited to show you. Oh my goodness. I haven't actually counted how many there are. I'll probably do that towards the end. This is actually my second attempt at recording it. I did already record the haul, but I had some issues with the video and I lost half of it, unfortunately. So sad. So I'm doing it again, which is slightly a good thing because I went manga shopping the day after I filmed the last one and I bought a bit more. So this haul is bigger again. Just before we get into the manga, if you haven't already, don't forget to give this video a like, a comment, and if you're new, consider subscribing. Join the Cake Tins family. If you haven't already, also check out my social medias linked down below, including the Manga Dudettes Discord. It is so much fun, so much fun. Without further ado, let's get into the manga haul. It should be alphabetical. I'm hoping it's alphabetical, because that's how I like to store it on my shelves, so it makes it easier to put it back at the end of these. So our first stack is A through a bit of D. So we'll just start from the top, and we have Appleseed Alpha. This is a hardback, and I think it's the same person as Ghost in the Shell. Yes, it is. I don't know. I was just a bit intrigued by it. I haven't read it yet. I keep calling it Apple Sauce Alpha for no particular reason other than I'm an idiot. Appleseed Alpha. I don't know how these stacks down the side are going to go. Well, hopefully it'll be easier the more I go through. But anyway, next we have Asadora Volume 4. This is one I picked up like after I filmed the other one, so this is I've only had this one for about a week. I'm really enjoying Asadora. I feel like Urasara's is really good at storytelling, because I especially found reading volumes 1 and 2, not a huge amount really happened, but I read through them really quickly, and I think it's just he tells stories really well, which is why I'm really hyped to read some of his other ones when I can finally find 20th Century Boys volumes 1 and 2 when they come back in stock, please. Next, and I'll do these two together, we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla Blood Brothers and Assassin's Creed Dynasty. So Blood Brothers is a sort of prequel to the Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is one of their games, and Assassin's Creed Dynasty, I'm actually not too sure if it's based on one of the chronicles, but it is set in China, I think. I'm fairly sure it is. I quite enjoyed this one. This is an ongoing series, and there's 4 out at the moment, but not in English. Only 1 volume's out in English, but there are 4 volumes somewhere. I'm really loving Tokyo Pop publishing all of these known series. So they do a lot of Disney, and they've done something else, I can't remember, but they do a lot of Assassin's Creed, and it really excites me. These really excite me because I've been playing Valhalla. I played a lot of Valhalla over Christmas. I love Valhalla because it's set in England, and a large chunk of it is set in Yorkshire. Yeah, that's my home, and yeah, I really enjoyed that, but I didn't enjoy it as much as this one. This one confused me a little. It was really pretty, and the fight scenes are really good, but this story in this one was better. Next we have volumes 10 and 14 of Beastars. Pretty much during this haul, if you see any of these 3 for 2 red stickers, it means they came from Travelling Man. Oh yes. I kind of held off picking up more Beastars because I couldn't find Volume 5 anywhere, and actually I still can't. I can't find Beastars Volume 5 in store. It wasn't in stock on Amazon. I do believe Book Depository have it, but they had it for retail, if not a little above retail. I'm not paying that. I've at most paid about £6.60, I think, for all of these. Yeah, these are £9.99, so 3 for 2, £6.66 is my maximum top-end budget for these. I'm missing Volume 5, 7 and 8, and then I think I'm up to date. I don't know if 15 is out soon, or I don't think it's come to the UK yet, but I'm nearly up to date. Just waiting for that 5, and then I'll read a bit more. Next we have Bite Maker Volumes 1 and 2. I picked up Volume 2 because Blackwell's had it for £5.99. That is going to be a recurring theme in this haul when I've picked up some real random volumes. And then I decided to pick up Volume 1 in Forbidden Planet, so at least I could read the series. Apparently it's something to do with alphas and omegas. I don't know what that means. Maybe I'm just very sheltered. I know that Emma at Geeky Dreams really likes it and spoke really highly of it, so I do need to get into it soon, quickly, so I can at least talk to her about it, is what I want to do. Next we have Blue Period Volume 5. This was an amazing volume. It was so good. It was beautiful. The way that the interactions between two of the characters, I don't really want to say too much because it's very spoilery. It was just so nice, and it kind of just made me feel warm. I don't know how else to explain it. I thought it was just lovely. We've talked about the series in some of the Dudettes live streams before, and I think I surprised them when I said that I really like Blue Period, but I don't really like the art style. Which is a very strange thing to say about a manga that's about art. But I think someone in chat actually said my thought. It wasn't... to me, I find the faces look a bit strange. And I don't know why. I find the faces all look really weird. But I love the series. I think it's amazing. I've learnt so much about art. I'm not really into art that much. I'm not that bothered. But I kind of want to try going to an art gallery or something to see if I appreciate it a bit differently, having read this. That might be something I try and do in 2022. Next we have Burn the Witch. Now, I haven't read this. It's in plastic wrap, I hope. That means it's saucy. But I don't think so. I think it's just because it's got a funky cover. Oh no, I've ripped it. Sad. I believe this is the same person as Bleach, and I think it's like a spin-off from Bleach. It says Volume 1, so I assume there's going to be more. I haven't finished reading Bleach yet, so I can't finish this. I can't read this just yet. I wanted to try and make up a 3 for 2, and I decided to pick it up because I always like getting new releases, particularly of something that I do want to read, and I do want to read this. I do want to finish Bleach. I want to catch up on that and then start reading this. I really do. Next we have Call Girl in Another World. This is an isekai. Oh, this is Volume 3. This was one of my first reads of the year. It's really weird to describe because it's like she works basically in a brothel, but it's really wholesome. She loves doing what she does. And she has like this, she's been given this book, and she has to, there's a list of like different types of people, like a miner or a demon king, and she pretty much, to be able to go back home, has to satisfy the list. But it's just so weirdly wholesome, and everyone's really lovely in it, and it's kind of funny. I wouldn't rate it as like a top peak isekai, but it's definitely a kind of sweet one. If you want to try like a sweet, smutty isekai, then this might be it. But I also feel a bit weird recommending adult manga, so I'm probably going to say I'm not recommending it. But if you want something wholesome. Okay, next we have Call of the Night Volume 4. I've got to be honest, I haven't read the past volume, I think. I haven't read 2, 3 or 4, sorry. I've only read Volume 1. I found volume 1 really weird. I found it really hard to get into the story and like the characters. I just found it really strange. There's just this 15-year-old boy who can't sleep, so he just ambles around the city. Like, what? Like, his parents, like, what? Yeah, maybe I need to just read a bit more and get into it, because lots of people seem to really like it. It's a big fan favourite. I think the covers, like the cloudy, foggy effect is gorgeous, and I just need to get back into it and see what I think. Next we have Call to Adventure, Defeating Dungeons with a Skill Board, Volume 3. Goodness, 7C, is it 7C? Yeah, it's 7C. 7Cs are pumping the releases out. I think I got this one like Volume 2 like late November, and then Volume 3 I got early December. It was crazy. There was like a week, 2 weeks between me getting the two, which actually kind of made it quite nice to read because I got a bit of a gap, but I still got them close together. I've been quite enjoying this one, but it has started to go downhill. I'm not enjoying it as much as I enjoyed Volume 1. It reminds me a whole bunch of Solo Leveling, because we're still on Earth and these dungeons have started appearing and people are now trying to make a living as adventurers, and this guy is able to have he has a skill board which no one else does, and it's giving him an advantage, and that's been about it. He's got a pet now, and it's like a potato, I think is the pet, or a potato plant, and I kind of love it, but also it's super weird. It's so weird. So weird. Case Closed, Volume 80. 80. Goodness, this is my second longest running series in my collection, besides One Piece. However, I am missing like 5 volumes. Volumes 2, 3, 7, 8, and 11, I think. Because in one of my other videos you'll see I got a haul of like 12 to 78 for pretty cheap, and I'm now trying to keep up to date whilst getting the earlier volumes that I need. I am an absolute sucker for detective stuff. I love detective shows, all that sort of stuff. I love it. I'm so excited to read this. I know a lot of people like it gets very episodic. I don't care. Episodic detective TV shows, I love them. Midsummer Murders. I'm sure a large number of you might not know what that is, but it's a very vaguely popular. Is it still running? It's a British like crime drama, and the episodes, like with ads, it's like 3 hours long, and that's the sort of thing I like. And it's just like this one place where someone dies every week, and you're like, how is someone still alive in this village? Anyone still alive in this village? Anyway, I've really ambled. Case Closed, 80. Chainsaw Man Volume 7, though I've actually slightly bent it. That was actually my fault. Yeah, whoops. So Traveling Man isn't doing 3 for 2 on Chainsaw Man or Jujutsu Kaisen at the moment, because I think just demand, which I kind of understand, but Forbidden Planet is. So I picked this up at Forbidden Planet. I'm still missing Volume 4, so I'm not particularly far into the series at the moment. It's going to come back in stock, because lots of the other ones have been. I mean, Traveling Man does have Volume 4 on their shelves. It's just full price, so I'm not buying it. I'll just wait, and eventually it'll come back in stock for 3 for 2 price, and then I'll pick it up. Ooh, I nearly forgot to stay hydrated. Next, we have Chilling in Another World with Level 2 Super Cheat Powers. This is really good. This is one of the few like I did like a mega isekai new series haul over a few months. Pretty much anything that came out, I was on it. And this is one of the few series that has held its goodness to the second volume, if any of that made sense. Pretty much, I rated Volume 1 8 and I rated Volume 2 8. I enjoyed both of them equally. The tropes have like not gotten old yet. The humour was still good. The fighting was still good. And like there's this new bit of drama that's happened, and it's like kept the story fresh. So I've enjoyed this one. Is this one getting an anime? I'm not sure. No, I don't think so. Yeah. This one was a good isekai. If you want to try a good isekai with OP generalness, then this one's a good one to try. Next we have 4 volumes of Claymore. So we have Volume 12, Volume 16, Volume 19, and Volume 24. Pretty much I don't tend to go for manga box sets because often I can buy the manga secondhand cheaper for the sort of manga you get in box sets, which tend to be Viz. Do any other publishers do box sets? It tends to be Viz, it tends to be Shonen Jump or Shoujo B, and they're usually the easiest type of volumes to find secondhand. In fact, most of my Claymore volumes are secondhand. These 1-4 might be some of the only ones that aren't, and yeah, I also prefer piecing manga together over getting a large amount of one series at once. You might be able to tell with all of my hauls being like one volume from a series, hence why these videos are all stupidly long. I'm so sorry. Also, I'm so sorry to future Caitlin who has to edit this. Yeah, so I have a chunk of Claymore. I'm well over halfway at this point, but I've still not got all of it. It'll just be slow and steady, slow and steady. The Dangers in My Heart Volume 1. This is another series where I bought Volume 2 for $4.99 or $5.99 at Blackwell's and wanted to actually read the series, so I picked up Volume 1. I don't know much about it, except it's 7 Seas. I think it's a sort of slice of life thing. And I know a lot of people are pretty mixed about it. I know a lot of people found it really boring and a lot of people found it really sweet. I'm hoping I don't find it boring because I enjoy bad manga. I kind of start to draw the line at boring manga. So I hope I find it sweet and funny. Next we have Destiny Lovers Volume 8. This is the final volume in the series, or in this series, because I think it has a sequel with the same name, unhelpfully. I hope they put a plus or something in the end, I don't know. Yeah, it got weird. It got really weird, especially at the beginning. And then it got a bit weirder towards the end, and I think I'm just extra confused at this point. I don't quite understand what's happening, and I read it, and I'm like, I still don't understand what's happening. I don't get what I've read. I found around like volumes 3, 4 where there was like a whole bunch of sudden storytelling. I actually quite enjoyed it, and then it went really downhill, like really quickly, and I'm like, I try and pick it up when I see it really cheap at this point. Defrag Volume 6. This is getting really hard to find. I don't know if 7 Seas stopped printing it. Because I don't like using the out of stock phrase, but it is harder to find. I've been picking a lot of it up secondhand, as I do with a lot of my series, but I was missing Volume 6 to make a clear run, so I picked it up at Forbidden Planet because I actually have quite a few of them, and I might next time I'm there pick up some of the later volumes as well. I think it's complete actually, but I couldn't tell you at what it's complete. So the stories aren't quite together, but I'll show them together anyway. So we have 3 Disney mangas. So we have Disney Cruella, Black, White and Red, and that was published by Viz. And then we have Disney Monsters Inc. and WALL-E. So these I picked up when I did my Manchester shopping video. I'm a big Disney fan, I'm a big Pixar fan as well, so I was quite excited to see Monsters Inc. and WALL-E manga. Monsters Inc. I'm a big fan of. My mother's a big fan of Monsters Inc., so I might try and convince her to read this one. Not sure I can get over Mike Wazowski's eye. It's just so shiny. It's so strange. I'm not sure how many more Disney manga the Tokyo Pop are printing. I saw they in Forbidden Planet in Manchester, they did have a Finding Nemo, but it was a hardcover one, and I was a bit put off because it wouldn't match these. But I'd probably pick it up if I saw it again, because I mean that's what really stopped me before, and then I'd have more Disney manga. I think this one's based on the movie, which I haven't seen, but it is on Disney Plus, I think, so I might watch it at some point. But I don't think I've ever seen 101 Dalmatians either, so I'm not sure how much it would mean to me. But yes, Disney manga, yay! Stack's looking a little precarious, isn't it? Cool. Next we have 2 volumes of Don't Toy Me, Miss Nagatoro. I've definitely said before that I found it a bit mean. She was just quite a bully, and for me it was a bit too far. It wasn't teasing, it was bullying. It wasn't very nice. Now my understanding is it eases up and it becomes less mean later on, but it still kind of left a bad taste in my mouth when I read volume 1. And actually, I think the biggest disappointment was I'd been really hyped to read it for so long. I'd had it on my want to try list for like a couple of years at this point, and yeah, I was just like, yeah. Yeah, so I've picked up 2 more because I loved the spines. It was like one of the driving factors. There aren't too many volumes out, so I'm wondering like if I do a binge of the volumes and catch up, maybe I'll enjoy it a bit more if she gets nicer. Our next final little stack here is a whole bunch of Dorohedoro. So we've got 8, 9, 11, 19 and 20. So this is another series I've been picking up piecemeal where I can. I'm missing, I think, 6 volumes now, or 7 volumes. But they do keep, new volumes do keep appearing in store. Viz have confirmed they're going to do reprints. When those reprints occur is another question, but they have said they're going to. It's just a matter of time at this point. I feel like I really need to speed up or this is going to take ages. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so top of this stack, we have Dr. Stone 19. I love Dr. Stone. I love Dr. Stone so much. It's so good. And this just, yeah, continued to be really good. I loved it so much. I don't think I can say anything about it though without it being spoilery. We've continued the arc. There was action, there was drama, there was science. Banger, absolute banger. Loved it. Next we have 2 volumes of Dragon Ball Z Volume 5 and Dragon Ball 11. These are both series I have been picking up piecemeal, and I've been picking these up for like, how old am I? 8 years. 8 years. I was doing my A-levels. I was doing my A-levels when I started picking up Dragon Ball, because I really vividly remember doing an interview at Leeds University, and on my way back to the train station picking up some Dragon Ball at Forbidden Planet and then reading it on the train home. It's just such a vivid memory of mine. I am missing 1 volume of Dragon Ball and then that's complete, and I'm missing I think 4 volumes of this and then it's complete. I got these both in Manchester. If you saw the video, you'll have seen the massive, crazy Dragon Ball wall that they had there. So I felt like I had to pick up at least a couple, and now I know if I'm missing a particular volume, I could always go back there to go get it. Next we have Dragon Ghost House Hunting Volume 6. I got this one in Manchester as well. It's such a cute, wholesome fantasy series. I don't see too many people talk about it. I think I've only seen 1 or 2 people mention it and they didn't like it, which breaks my heart because it's so cute. Basically, we've got this dragon. He's super cowardly. He just wants a really chill life. He's not a very good dragon, and he's going looking for a house. Is the entire story. And it's amazing. I would really recommend it if you want like a chill fantasy. There is some fighting, but not much. It's mostly like accidental. It's just this dragon trying to find a home. Yeah. Next we have Dungeon Dive Aim for the Deepest Level Volume 2. This is actually in my TBR basket at the moment. It is an isekai, though I must say I read Volume 1 and I can't remember a single thing about it. I don't know what that says. Thinking back, I feel like it was a very distinct average isekai, and I just don't remember anything about it except, well, based on the title, they were trying to get to the bottom level of this dungeon, and that's it. So I sure hope the opening pages like explain what was happening. Next we have Dungeon Toilet Volume 2, also an isekai. The premise of this is really easy to summarize. Basically, this guy has been isekai'd and his entire goal is to find the perfect toilet. Now, if that isn't relatable content, I don't know what is. Next, we have 5 volumes of Eyeshield 21, volumes 2, 6, 27, 32, and 34. Now, I kept saying to myself that I would buy like maybe 1 a month because they're really hard to find, and when you do, they're not really discounted. They're full price, if not more than full price. But I actually stumbled upon quite a few that were like 3 for 2 price. Like, I didn't pay more than £5.50 for any of these. In fact, some of them were £4 and one of them was under £4. Yes. I didn't think I'd start collecting this as quickly as I have done. My friend who collects manga, her favourite series like ever is Eyeshield 21, and she started collecting it I think about a year ago now, maybe under a year, and she's missing I think 3 or 4 volumes, and it is like the ones that people are questioning out in the world. Are they even, like, do they exist? So yeah, so I only have like 12 I think at this point, and so I'll get there eventually, especially since apparently Viz confirmed it's not out of print, which is nice, I suppose. Just when are more coming out? There's my next question. Next we have Fire Punch Volume 6. This was the only volume I was missing, so Fire Punch is now complete. It is a 8-volume series, and I'm fairly sure it's the same artist as Chainsaw Man. I haven't started reading it yet because when it's shorter series, I'm pretty set now on waiting till I have all the volumes and then reading it. I don't want to binge them. I don't like doing them back to back, but like one a week or one every few days in between volumes, just so like it's still fresh in my mind, but like there's a bit of a break. And that's what I want to now do with this one. I just need to start slipping the volumes into my basket. Next we have The Girl from the Other Side Volume 1. I've had a lot of people tell me I should read this, and not even just like in the manga community, like personally, I know 3 people personally have gone like, Caitlin, you should read this series. And I'm like, oh, okay. And Amazon weirdly had Volume 1 cheaper than 3 for 2, and I was like, okay, I'll have a go at this. I'll try manga if you're gonna twist my arm. I had no idea what to expect from this at all. I hadn't researched the story or anything, and I think I actually just found it a bit sad, or it made me feel a bit sad. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a bad story. I did enjoy the story, but I felt sad after reading it, which made me sad. I don't know what to say. It was, yeah, the art style is quite nicely different, but I still enjoyed it compared to like typical manga styles, and I'm definitely going to keep reading it, especially since it's quite a short series, 11 or 12 volumes, I can't quite remember. But yeah, I just, after hearing everything everyone has said, I was surprised that it just made me feel a bit sad. Next we have Haikyuu Volumes 6, 25, and 43. I have been picking up Haikyuu here and there for well over a year now. It's been a year and a half, I think, since I started picking up Haikyuu, and I have like 26 volumes now, but they're all over the place. So the earliest volume I have is Volume 1, and the latest volume I have is Volume 43. So as you can imagine, there's quite a few gaps. Particularly towards the beginning, it's similar with quite a few Viz series at the moment, like Yona for example. Early volumes are the hardest to find. There do seem to be reprints coming out, so I picked, so Volume 6 for example, it seems to be quite new appearing on the shelves. I do need a Volume 3, 4 and 5 though. And then I have actually a clear run to like 12 or 13 I think, so that'll be quite a good chunk of reading. I'm really excited because I see so many people talk about how much they love Haikyuu, so I kind of want to get in and see what all the fuss is about. Next we have 2 volumes of Hashia's Skill. The guild member with a worthless skill is actually a legendary assassin. Now these are new releases, 2 new releases in December. Now they are of course coming slower to the UK, so that might have had a big effect on it. So I read Volume 2 a couple of weeks ago, and like the next day I went to Forbidden Planet and they had Volume 3 and I was like, what? Oh my gosh, so exciting. So that's the other volume in my basket at the moment. I only have 2 volumes in my TBR basket, and then I get to refill it, and I'm very excited about that. That'll be wonderful fun. I've really enjoyed this. It's not an isekai, it's just plain fantasy, but it has like all the tropes of isekais. There's a really overpowered main character, there's like some busty ladies, and yeah, it's really good, and I've really enjoyed the story so far, and I've continued to enjoy the story through Volume 2, which is like, I feel like volume 2 is like the biggest test over volume 1, because of volume 1 it's new, it's exciting, there's new tropes, and it's just, can it continue throughout? Volume 2 for this one definitely did. So I'm excited to read volume 3. Also, they're nice and brightly coloured, you can see. Next we have volume 4 of How Do We Relationship. I am missing volume 3, so I can't read this one yet. I enjoyed volume 1. I did find it a bit slow, so I need to dive into volume 2 to see if it picks up a little bit. I've heard some people got grumpy at some of the later volumes, and I kind of want to know why, so I'm waiting till there's some restocks of volume 3, and then I can jump into that. How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift volume 5. I picked this up on Blackwell's for $5.99. Last time I checked, I think, which was this morning because I check often, they actually still had some cheap volumes of How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. It might have been volume 4. So if that interests you, go check that one out for sure. I've really found this interesting. It is a very ecchi series. Just need to throw that out there. High school girls going to the gym, getting sweaty and everything. Yeah, it's quite ecchi series, but it's also really interesting and informative. And it's all about like they're basically trying to get more fit, and they're trying to do different exercises, and they explain the different exercises, and they explain the equipment they're using and why they're using the equipment, and it's just really interesting, and it makes me go, I should be doing more exercise. Every time I've read one of these, I'm like, I'm definitely going to go and try out this random piece of equipment. But they're very thin, so I don't want to be paying full price for these at all. Next we have 8 volumes of Hunter x Hunter. I've caught up on a few vid series now, so this is like my next target for what I'm catching up on. I've had a few volumes of Hunter x Hunter in my collection for quite a while now to read. It's basically this, like, there's not much to the pages. It's very blank. It's very large drawings with about not too much text, but it's still really good. And yeah, I'm very torn. I think I will still keep picking it up, but it's just, will I keep up to date, or will I keep holding out for cheaper than 3 for 2 prices? I can't decide at the moment. Okay, we'll do this. Okay, next we have I Got Caught Up in the Hero Summons, But the Other World Was at Peace, Volume 2. Now, I read this actually, like, was it last night or the night before? I read it like 2 days ago, and I gave it a 5 out of 10. It was fine. It was, like, even Volume 1 I found was fine. This is such like an average isekai. I enjoy it because it's isekai, but as a story, I don't find it flows very well, and there's too many characters that look the same to me, and I can't remember anyone's names. Now that might be a me issue because I'm really shit at names sometimes, but yeah. If I was to recommend an isekai, this would probably be nowhere near the top of the list, unless you want a really, like, unless you've, like, read so many isekais that this is what you need next because you've not read it. No, that doesn't make sense. Never mind. Next we have The Ideal Sponge Life Volume 9. I actually picked this up at Travelling Man, and it's not Viz, and it's because Travelling Man in Manchester had a half price section. I think makes it, how much did so it's a $9.99 series, so I think it was $4.99, £5-ish, which is a decent price. It's cheaper than 3 for 2. But yeah, this is an isekai. I only have volumes 1 and 2, so this is very much out of order and I can't read it yet, but that's so exciting. I'm a behemoth, an S-ranked monster, but mistaken for a cat. I live as an elf girl's pet. Volume 3. This was my first read of 2022. It's a plastic wrapped series. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. I find this both really shit and really good at the same time. It's a very ecchi series, it's plastic wrapped, and there are some very questionable interactions between the elf girl and the cat. You're like, no, okay, that's not okay. And but it's like a panel, and then it's like, that's it. And you're like, what? It's so weird. And basically this little cat is overpowered, and he kind of adventures alongside the elf girl. That's pretty much the story. I'm the hero, but the Demon Lord's also me. Volume 2, another Plastic Corrupt series, and I've not read this one. This one was really ecchi. Volume 1 was really ecchi. Basically, this guy, it turns out his dad was the hero and his mum was the Demon Lord, and he, as the child of both of them, is both. And both sides of the demons and the hero people are trying to get him to go back to their world and become their demon king or hero, but he's both. So there's like some fighting between the ladies from both sides, who are super busty, of course. And yeah, that was kind of the premise of Volume 1. There's just a lot of fighting and boobs all over the place. And I'm going to assume Volume 2 is going to be much of the same. I'm the villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. Volume 2! I am loving this villainess trend at the moment, and this one is... yeah, this one ticks most of my boxes. It's, yeah, a villainess isekai, and she's taming like the bad guy, and it's lovely and it's sweet. And Volume 2 was so good, and it's only a 3-volume series. There's not many of them at all, which that's extra exciting. Well, no, it's not. It makes me sad because it'll be finished soon, but then I'll actually be able to complete one, because not many isekai complete. I don't really have many isekai in my collection that are complete. A lot of them are ongoing, so I'm excited and saddened at this series for that reason. Next we have Invincible Shovel Volume 2. This is not an isekai. I feel like I need to clarify one. They've got really weird titles. This is just a fantasy about a guy who can do stupid things with his shovel. And when I say stupid, I mean like insanely OP level things with his shovel. And it's just really dumb. But he's really powerful, and yeah, it's so weird. But also funny, because it feels like it's not taking itself seriously, and I think that helps. It's a bad series that knows it's kind of bad. That makes sense? And yeah, it also has a light novel. There's a light novel for this if you decide that you don't want the pictures, you want to read about shovels instead. Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon Part 2 Volume 1. I was so confused when I read Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, because there were 10 volumes and then it just stopped. And then I remember looking it up online and it was like, yep, it's complete. And I'm like, it can't be complete because it like ended mid-arc. It was like, that doesn't make sense. And there was lots of mixed what was happening, and it looked like they were just restarting again. I'm not entirely sure because I've not read it yet, and so I'll be able to see what happens. But I did enjoy the original set of manga, so I'm quite excited they're bringing it back, even if it's like a reboot instead of continuation, but I'll find out. Next we have 2 volumes of JoJo. JoJo Part 3 Volume 2 and JoJo Part 5 Volume 2. So I am trying to stay up to date with JoJo, hence the Golden Wind Volume 2, and Stardust Crusaders is the only part that I'm missing volumes in. I have Part 1, 2 and 4 complete, but not Part 3, so that's why I'm trying to complete this one. There's no particular reason, except I think Part 4 I managed to find a really good deal where I found the first 6 volumes for about £7 each, and I was like, okay, I'm going to jump in on that one. And then I picked up the last couple from Forbidden Traveling Man, so I could have it, so I could have that part nice and wrapped up. And now I just need to get up to date on these ones. I do love the fancy hardbacks. I need to read more fancy hardbacks. Yeah. Next we have Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 12. I'm trying to stay up to date with this series. There's quite a few mainly Viz series where even if I'm missing earlier volumes, I'm trying to stay up to date with them, and Jujutsu Kaisen is one of them. I am missing Volume 7 and 0, but 0 I don't think stops you reading the main series, but I'm missing Volume 7. But I'm pretty much, I was missing volume 5, and I was missing volume 5 for like a year, and now all the manga stores have volume 5. They have loads of volume 5s, so I'm assuming I just need to wait a little bit and there'll be volume 7s. Just a little patience. So yes, Jujutsu Kaisen 12, pretty much because I'm trying to stay up to date with the series, but I can't read it yet. Next we have The King's Beast Volume 4. I kind of have mixed feelings around this series. I really enjoyed Volume 1, I quite enjoyed Volume 2, and then Volume 3 I found a little dull. I'm not sure why, I just did. But I'm still going to continue reading the series up at Volume 4, and I'm hoping it picks up a bit in this one. Also, I don't know why, but I find King's Beast volumes are really, really slippery, really shiny. I don't know if that's just me. Next we have Kiss Me at the Stroke of Midnight, Volume 3. I am loving this series. It's so cute, it's so pretty. I kind of agree that with Tiffany, Himeka, I hadn't realised how big the age gap was between them. I thought she was like 18 and he was 22. It turns out no, she's 16 and he's 24, I think. And that just feels like a really big age gap, particularly because she's like 16. She's 16? I can't remember. But I also agree, if I pretend they're closer in age, it feels less bad. So this volume also had like this big side story in the end. It was quite long. It's like that much of it, I think, was the side story. And I did kind of enjoy it up to a sudden point where it was like, you did what now? And I was like, it's so strange. But I think all the art styles are so pretty. I want to read more. I have a whole bunch of the later volumes because I picked them up secondhand, but I'm missing 4 and 5, so I can't read anymore yet. I do think the last volume comes out imminently in the next month or two, and I know a lot of people got really upset because it got pushed back and it was like a year between 2 volume releases, but I don't mind too much because I won't be able to catch up in time. But I really love it. Super pretty, just questionable. Next we have Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, Volume 12. I have a very, very big soft spot for Konosuba because I watched the anime while I was at university, and it kind of like really introduced me to the isekai genre. I found the last few volumes have definitely felt a bit lackluster. Actually, volumes 10 and 11 I found a bit lackluster, and then volume 12 about halfway through really picked up and I was like, oof, I'm enjoying this. And then I read it really quickly. I've enjoyed it a lot. I know the light novel's wrapped up now, I think it's finished, so I wonder what that'll mean for the manga. Does that mean that's gonna finish? I don't know. Next we have 3 volumes of Kuroko's basketball. So it's 5, 6 and 8, so omnibuses 9 to 10, 11 to 12 and 15 to 16. I like getting these at Travelling Man because they're $10.99, and that's a really nice thing to do 3 for 2 on, especially with how thick they are. I haven't started reading it yet though. I'm wondering if I wait till I get them all, but that's quite a lot of manga to read to wait. I don't read too much sports manga. At this rate, I'm going to end up being able to read this before I can read haiku. Next we have 2 volumes of Love Me Not. Yeah, so it took so long for volume 10 to get to the UK. I bought these a week apart from Travelling Man. I think there's only 1 more volume and it's complete, and I've seen people pick it up in the US, so I'm hoping by the end of the month, maybe next month, volume 12 will be here. This has definitely been my favourite Iosaki Saka series of the 3 in English. I think there's only 3 in English: Strobe Edge, A Higher Ride, and this. This one's definitely been my favourite. I really like, and I can't remember her name now, she's not on any of the covers. The only main character not on either of these covers, her. She's my favourite. I think she's really sweet. And yeah, I just love the art style. It's super chill, it's lovely, it's cute, and yeah, it'll be nice to see it wrap up. I hope her next work her further works of hers get published in English too. Next, we have 2 volumes of Magi, volumes 29 and 30, and with these volumes, Magi is complete in my collection. Oh my goodness, I'm very excited. I've been collecting Magi for 4 years now, 4 years now. I stopped reading it because I used to read this when I would commute into work by train, and then I stopped commuting by train and I stopped reading Magi. It was the same, Magi and Seraph at the End were my two like train manga, and I legit just stopped the moment I stopped getting on the train for no particular reason. But Magi is complete and I want to read that. I want to get on that. I'm very hype. Next, we have some manga classics. I am big on manga classics at the moment. So we've got Dracula, we've got Edgar Allan Poe, we've got Frankenstein, and we have Great Expectations. So Dracula was bought secondhand for £6, and these were 3 for £2 in Forbidden Planet. I'm just so excited to read these. Once I discovered like they were a thing. Oh, there's a label on this. Oh, it's also quite dented. I mean, it was £6. Yeah, once I discovered these are a thing, this is like my 2020 goal, is to collect the Manga Classics series. I'm doing pretty well, especially since I've bought quite a few secondhand. There may or may not be one in a secondhand haul coming up soon-ish. I don't know when I'll post that video, but there's just, I keep picking odd ones up, and yeah, it just really excites me to, this is my, how I'm going to read classical literature, and it is through manga, and I see no issue with that. On to another stack. So we have this one, and then we have this Diddy one at the front, and then we're done. Thank you so much for holding out this long. This stack isn't going to go particularly quickly though, I apologise. Anyway, first off, we have Trapped in a Dating Sim, The World of Otome Games is Tough for Mobs, Volume 2. So this is an isekai. It's isekai'd into an otome game, but it's an otome game he was playing before he got isekai'd, and it's like, it's got a dating sim aspect to it, but it also has like a real-time strategy game aspect to it, with like mechas and ships, and yeah, and like, it's so weird reading a manga with both of those things in it. Like, the end of the volume, towards the end, without being too spoilery, there's a big mecha fight. It's like, what? That's so strange. Yeah, it's definitely a different one, and I definitely still enjoyed Volume 2 as much as I enjoyed Volume 1, which is always a good thing with series like these. So yeah, if you want a weird isekai that's romance and action-y, try this one. Also has a light novel. I tried to do some rearranging, but I don't think it's gone well. Anyway, we'll continue on. So next we have Missions of Love Volume 16. This is another volume I picked up in Travelling Man Manchester for half price. I don't know much about the series, except both Emma and Tiffany sold their series because they didn't enjoy it. So that bodes well for me. I'll get there eventually. Maybe I'll enjoy it. We don't know. Next we have Moriarty the Patriot Volume 5. I love Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty and Arthur Conan Doyle, so this series is just wonderful to read. It's always exciting to get new volumes, and yeah, this one was also really good because we got introduced to another really exciting character that I like from the lore. Is that the right word? The series? Sherlock Holmes? Yeah. That was good. Can't wait for Volume 6. Next we have Necromance. This is a very new series. This was an absolute cover buy. I know nothing about it. It's published by Seven Seas. And that is the extent of my knowledge. I think... Okay, so looking at the synopsis, pretty much our hero died during the fight, but he gets resurrected and now he's cursed. And they're trying to cure the curse. There we go. I know what it's about now. There we go. Cover buy. I do like to cover buy, especially Seven Seas. Seven Seas are like all over the place with like being shit, being boring, being amazing, and I love it. No matter how I look at it, it's you guys' fault I'm not popular. Volume 15. This was the third volume I think I picked up in Travelling Man for half price, so about £5. I read volume 1. It's a very pricey series. I did enjoy it, but it's a very pricey series considering how thin they are, so I pretty much will only buy them secondhand or discounted, and you don't see them discounted that much, but I've also not really heavily looked so far, so I might get into that one a bit more if I can find some more volumes. Next we have Our Teachers Are Dating Volume 2. So I have Volumes 2 and Volume 3, and I picked them both up at Blackwell's for $5.99. I do want to read it, but again, since I've bought some of them discounted, I have to buy them all discounted, is my pretty much line of thought. I think it's only a 4-volume series as well, so I don't think it's very long at all, but I don't know if 4's out in the UK yet, so I might wait until 4 is out and then read them all together. Next we have Radiant Volume 3. This is another Viz series I started to try and pick up a little bit more aggressively. I picked this one up in Manchester. Yeah, I don't see it being talked about too much. Technically it's a manfra, is that it? It's French. It reminded me a little bit of Fairy Tale to begin with, but I'm not sure if that's just because the main character reminds me of Natsu a bit. Maybe it's the hair and the face, and he's just a bit of a dumbass. But I enjoyed Volume 1, and I think I got Volume 2 semi-recently in a second-hand haul or a Travelling Man haul, I can't quite remember. And now I have Volume 3, and I've got a whole chunk further that I've bought from Travelling Man and second-hand, so I can do a chunk of reading of this. Next we have ReZero Chapter 3 Truth of Zero Volume 8. Goodness me, I find series that do parts a mouthful. I got really into ReZero, like, is it 2020? At the beginning of 2020, like, I got some for my birthday, and like, I got really into it. I got right up to halfway through chapter 3, and then I kind of stopped for literally no reason. It wasn't because the story was bad or anything, I just kind of stopped. I started reading other things and I forgot to go back. And now they started publishing part 4, in the manga of part 4, and so I kind of want to try and get back into it because I want to try and stay up to date because it's isekai, and ReZero, it's really good. Yeah. Need to try and remember what's happening. Next we have Rent a Really Shy Girlfriend Volume 1. In general, I'm pretty unsure with the Rent a Girlfriend series. I know I feel like there's two types of fans of it. It's two people who've read it and they'd love it, they think it's really cute and wholesome, and then who are like the people who are like, it's dragging on. And I'm now teetering more towards that it's dragging on, especially when I realise that there's like 18 volumes in Japan, potentially more now from when I last looked, and people are complaining about the will they won't they around volume 18, and I'm like, I read up to volume 9. Goodness me, how does it keep going for that long? So weirdly, I'm actually kind of excited for the spin-off because I really like her because she's really shy and that's relatable content, and it's not going to be focusing on the main like other two characters pretty much, I'm hoping. I don't know, not read it yet. So yeah, I think I'm looking forward to this more than the main series at the moment. I really hope it doesn't let me down. Next we have Requiem of the Rose King Volume 14. This is the latest volume in the series, I think. I'm struggling to find some of the earlier volumes, so I can't continue reading the series at the moment, but I want to stay up to date with it. Apparently it gets mighty saucy about halfway through, at like volume 7 or 8 or something, and I want to go and read it. I want to read the source, but I can't find volume 2. I'm just waiting for reprints at this point, because more and more volumes, particularly of Viz, do keep appearing in Forbidden Planet and Travelling Man. I just need to wait and have a bit of patience. Yeah, I'm trying to keep up to date with this now. I think it's complete as well, but not at 14 volumes, but it's complete in Japan, so there's not going to be too many more volumes. Next we have Rosie in the Labyrinth Volume 1. This was another cover buy. Know nothing about it, but I do keep hearing people say that it's really cute and really sweet and silly. Ooh, thank goodness, it might be something I enjoy. And I'm pretty excited to read this. I don't think it's many volumes. most of the words of that sentence there. But so yeah, I don't mention there's going to be too many volumes out, but yeah, apparently it's really cute, it's really sweet, really wholesome. Can't wait to read that one. Next we have, oh my god, I love this so much. It is Isekai. It is like a josei, so more grown-up romance. It's super cute. It's set in a snowy kingdom, and I read it over Christmas, and she runs a book cafe, and it's super cozy, and I loved it so much. Action, or haremims, or like skill trees, or soap if you like Perfect World, if you like, yeah, that sort of thing. Try this, please try this. It is so sweet. I loved it. I'm smitten. I'm so smitten. I can't say just how much I loved this volume. Now, it might have been because I was sick at the time and I had a fever, and that like exasperated the emotions I felt when I read this, but I'm still feeling those emotions, and I don't have a fever at the moment. I loved it. It was so good. Next we have Say I Love You Volume 12. I am missing 14 and 16, and then the series is complete. This was one of the first like romancy shoujo series I discovered in manga anime. I watched the anime at university because I did used to watch some anime while I was at uni. And I watched this, and I remember thinking that I found the anime's ending really lackluster and it didn't make much sense. And then I realised / learnt that there was a manga, and at 18 volumes I was like, okay, so probably goes further than the anime. Let's give that a go. Let's see what that's like. And yeah, it definitely goes way further than the anime, and it's quite different as well. But yeah, so I am hyped to be able to finish this. I want to see how it ends. I want to see what happens to the pair of them. I just need to get those last 2 volumes. Next we have, I think it's all of A Skull Frozen in Time. Which way? Okay. So I think it's only a 4-volume series. So volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. I nearly said 5. I mean, there's not a 5. It's like it's a mystery, I suppose. I picked it up because I thought cover of volume 1 looked really pretty, and then I picked up volume 2 because I kind of like volume 1, and then Blackwell's had volume 3 discounted, so I picked that up, and then I went to Forbidden Planet and they had volume 4, and I was like, I'm fairly sure that's series complete. It does actually say final volume in super tiny text just down here on the back. Yeah, so I quite like mysteries, as cough, case closed, so like I want to know what's happening. I want to find out. I want to find out what's happening. It's so strange, and I love it. I loved it so much. But yeah, I think the covers do look gorgeous. I don't think the art style inside is as good as the covers, but it's like, it's not bad. It's just, I think the covers look gorgeous, and the inside art just isn't the same. But yeah, can't wait to find out what happens. Next we have Seraph of the End volume 20. So me picking up this volume meant that I had a clear run to 21 because I had quite a few gaps based on what stock availability there was. So yeah, I need to get back into reading Seraph of the End. Similar to Magi, I stopped reading it because I stopped getting on the train, which yeah, I know doesn't make sense, but that's what happened. I do like vampire stories, and I was enjoying it. There was nothing wrong with the series. I just kind of stopped around volume 10. But now I've got 1 to 21, and I can get back into this. Oh, it includes a free mini poster inside. Oh, it does. Ooh, do you like rip these out? What do you do with them? Or do you keep them in? I don't know. Next we have Sex Ed 120%. I really like this series. It is very episodic, but this is like proper sex education. This is the sort of sex education you hope you would have in school. It is very blunt, it's very honest, it's all about not trying to spread false information. It's not just about if you have sex you'll get an STI and die. It's like, people, you will have sex, here's how to do it responsibly, and other parts of sex education that you typically wouldn't experience in a school, like how to make it nice for your partner and stuff like that. It's, yeah, really good. It's very thin, so be wary of that. when you think about how much you want to spend on it, because it's I think an $11.99 or $12.99 series. But yeah, it's really, really good, if not a bit different to a lot of the other things that I generally read. It's very educational. I love educational manga. Next we have Shiori's Diary Volume 2. Apparently it's only a 3-volume series, so it'll actually wrap up in the next one, and I'm kind of glad, because pretty much this lady has found her husband's diary and it details very explicit acts with another woman, and she takes that to assume he's having an affair and goes off and has several affairs of her own. But my issue is, like, talk to him. What if he's writing a novel? What if it's not his? What if... and why not just divorce him? I don't know. Maybe... I don't know. And I kind of want to see what's going to happen. She's kind of pretty much just boning this one guy that she works with at the moment. And he's starting to get the feelings. And I want to see what happens. I want to see some drama. This is also very explicit. It is a plastic wrap series. Yeah, just be aware. It's probably one of the more explicit series I've ever read, actually. Next we have 3 volumes of Snow White with the Red Hair, 14, 15 and 16. Now, I did keep telling myself I wouldn't rush to pick these up, and to be fair, I didn't. I decided to pick them up because I saw them all next to each other in Traveling Man, and I was like, Snoop. Was it Traveling Man? Some of them might... no, they were Forbidden Planet, sorry. They were in Forbidden Planet. I started to find this series a little bit dull, so I kind of said that I wouldn't rush myself to pick these up, which I haven't done. I have picked them up now, and I'm fairly sure I am now up to date with these. It wasn't bad, and it had its good points. It just, I found the down points really dull. But I did enjoy the good bits. I am hoping it picks up, but I've seen people who like the series say that the last few volumes have been a bit dull, and I'm like, oh no, what will I think? Next we have So I'm a Spider, So What? The Daily Lives of the Komoka Sisters. So volume 1. So this is a spin-off to So I'm a Spider, So What? I don't actually think I can say much about the series without it being pretty big spoilers. You pretty much need to have read to like volume 7 or 8 in the manga, maybe 6. I'd have to check to be able to understand / not be spoilt by this spin-off. I find like that's an issue I have a lot with spin-off manga, in particular isekai, because I read a lot of isekai and a lot of isekai spin-offs. I would love it if they had a little disclaimer, if they said... Now, they might do, and I've missed it, at which point, please educate me. That I wish they had a disclaimer of like how far manga, anime, light novel-wise you needed to be before you could pick this up without spoilers. Because there are some That Time I Reincarnated as a Slime spin-offs, and I picked up one of them and I started reading and there were like big spoilers, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to read this just yet, am I? And I was actually kind of a little bit upset, and I did look into it, and it was like, okay, I found a Wikipedia page that said it takes place after this arc, and then I had to go and find where that arc was in comparison to the manga, and I was like, okay, great, that's like 3 arcs ahead of where I am. Okay. I did quite enjoy this one. It's quite episodic, but I really enjoyed having that like little bit of So I'm a Spider, So What boost, because it's been a while since I read volume 9. Volume 10 is out soon, but I haven't seen it in the UK yet, and I just love So I'm a Spider, So What. Next we have Spy Family 6. I don't know what is to say about Spy Family that hasn't been said already. It's amazing, it's lovely, it's funny, it's wholesome, it's cute, it's action, it's great. And this one was, I loved the whole tennis part with him and his partner. Well, spy partner, and then she went out to play tennis against Yor, and yeah, that was great. And then at the end we've had some bits with Anya. Anya's definitely my favourite. I think Anya's a lot of people's favourites, and it's just so good. I can't believe volume 7 doesn't come out in the UK till May. If you haven't read this already, do try and find volumes. I know they're harder to find at the moment, but I think this is something that like could appeal to everyone. I haven't heard anyone yet say they didn't like it. I do know people get put off like, oh, it's overhyped, and you know what, I do agree. I feel like going into a series blind and it's a good series. You go into it blind and I might give it an 8. If I go into it thinking it's hyped, I might end up giving it a 6, just because my expectations end up being so high. So I can kind of get that, but this is definitely one to not sleep on if you can. It's good. Next we have The Strange Adventure of a Broke Mercenary Volume 2. Not an isekai, just fantasy. Also, Volume 2 held strong. This was good. I enjoyed this. It was very, very quite dark. It was quite dark. There was a lot of brutal moments, gory moments, some not very nice moments, and I enjoyed it. I don't know how long a series it is. I don't feel like it could be too long a series, and Volume 3 comes out in a couple of months, and I was looking it up because I enjoyed Volume 2 so much. But yeah, this actually surprised me because I think I enjoyed Volume 2 more than I enjoyed Volume 1. That doesn't happen that often. So yeah, that was good. Last manga in this stack is Those Not So Sweet Boys Volumes 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, I love this. I love this so much. Like, I don't even know why. Like, I read Volume 1 and I quite liked it, and then I read Volume 2, and then I immediately read Volume 3. I don't often read series volumes back to back, but I did for these, and I've got Volume 4 on order. Blackwell should be shipping that out to me imminently. I enjoyed it. It's a nice romance, a nice high school romance, and yeah, there isn't really too much that stands out from it. I just quite liked the way the story is portrayed, I think. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Last stack. We are nearly there. So we have 2 volumes of To Your Eternity, volume 11 and 12. I got these on Blackwell's. One I think was $4.99 and one was $5.99. I was very excited, considering these are both hard to find and like $11.99 each in My Forbidden Planet. Yeah, I've got 1 to 14, 15, and now 11 and 12. I just kind of keeping an eye out for cheaper volumes at this point, especially since I've bought them all I bought them all discounted. Even 14 and 15 were discounted. Volume 2 was secondhand. Volume 1 was discounted on Amazon. Yeah, I hear it's a lovely series, and I just need to try and find some more. Hold out for some juicy discounts. Next we have Toilet Bound Tanuka-gun Volume 11. I gotta be honest, I think this might have been my favourite volume of the series so far. It was good. It was lovely. We had loads of backstory on the School Mystery 4, I think it was 4, the Painty Girl, and I loved it. It was lovely. It was sad. Yeah, I nearly said wholesome. It's not really that wholesome, but I don't know why. I just enjoyed it a lot, and I enjoyed it the most, I think, of any of the ones I've read so far. And I think I'm kind of waiting for this arc to wrap up now, though. I'm hoping it wraps up in the next volume. I did try to look at pre-ordering volume 12, but it was listed as unavailable, which is sad. So maybe I'll wait to see if I can find it in store, because often in store they're pretty good at having the latest volume for a while, and then that goes out of stock and we have to wait a bit. But I've been mostly staying up to date with this series. I started picking it up around volume 3, just as volume 3 came out, so it was pretty easy to find volumes back then. So I've managed to stay up to date, and it's not been too hard. Next we have volumes 4 and 5 of Tokyo Tarariba Girls. That is Tokyo Tarariba Girls complete now. Yeah, this series is complete. I picked up a bunch of the later volumes second hand for half price, and then I just needed these 2 to complete the series. I have all of Princess Jellyfish, but I haven't read it yet. But I'm actually thinking I'm going to read this one first, because I've read volume 1 already. I really enjoyed Blank Canvas, but for me, I felt like I suffered not being able to read volumes 4 and 5 close enough together, because I couldn't find a volume 5 for quite a while. So I was definitely waiting to pick up the whole of this series before I started reading it, in case I ran into similar feelings. But now that I've got 4 and 5, that is definitely a series I'm going to dive into. Next we have Uncle from Another World Volume 3. I've only read Volume 1. It is an isekai, but he's come back, so isn't, but it is. But we are getting flashbacks. I haven't read volume 2 yet, and I haven't read volume 3, obviously, because I've not read volume 2. This is a more expensive series. Yeah, oh my goodness, I hadn't realised it was that much. It's $13.99. Of course, bought a Store Out of the 3 for 2. So I'm not rushing to pick this up because it's quite expensive and I'm a bit unsure about it. It was really silly though, from what I could remember, and I did enjoy reading it. There was just some bits I was a bit unsure about, mostly. Next we have Wandering Witch, The Journey of Elena, Volume 3. Now, absolute heartbreak. I was taking this off my shelf and I dropped it and I've accidentally torn the back page and I'm so sad. Actually, it's not really a tear. It's just a really... No, that's a tear. That is a tear. That is... sad times. I dropped it. It was a mistake. It happens. I got volumes 1 and 2 for Christmas. I read volume 1 and I loved it. I love witch series, magic-y series. I love them anyway, but this one was like a bit darker than usual and I quite liked that. I liked it was a bit more darker, and she's not a necessarily perfect person. The art style is also super cute, which helps a whole bunch. Yeah, it's only 3 volumes out so far. It's based on a light novel. Yeah, I'd recommend this one, definitely. Next we have Wave Listen to Me Volume 4. This one took ages to arrive. This was another bought on Blackwell's because it was discounted. I ordered it like early November and it arrived a couple of days before Christmas. Like, I wasn't in the rush for the volumes. I didn't really mind, but I was like, I did message them at one point going, "You've not forgotten about my order, have you?" And they went, "No, it's just taking a while to ship out." I'm like, okay, just checking. And it is here. I've only read volume 1. I'm missing 3 and 5, I think. It is quite a heavy read. There's a lot of text, and it's like quite deep. The story, it's about life and stuff. So yeah, this is definitely not like a beginner manga sort of read. There's just so much happening throughout the series, throughout the story. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I can get the last. It really jumped out at me, so because I can't think of anything. I find it harder to go like, yeah, this one was amazing. It was good. I do love the story. It's one of my favorites, but like this particular volume was quite good, but not exemplary. Next we have We Never Learn 18. So this is one of the ending volumes because there is a volume for each of the girls, so it's their particular ending. So the ending on this one was for, what's her name? Rizu. Definitely check the back cover for that one. She was the like udon girl who isn't very good socially. She was one of my favourites. I really liked her, and I really liked the other girl that he was tutoring, Fumino Furuhashi. I think the next volume is her ending, so I'm quite excited to read that one. And then we have the one training to be the doctor, and then the last volume is the teacher, which I found the whole thing really weird with that. But I did quite enjoy this one. I found it super sweet. I do like they're doing an ending for each of the girls because you can kind of see how it works out. There were also some other bits that made this one super cute and actually made me tear up a little bit, but that's spoilers, so I'm not saying why. Next we have Whisper Me a Love Song Volume 2. I picked this one up, you can go down a bit. I picked this one up because Blackwell's had it discounted. Are you noticing a trend? Yes, because they had discounted. It had been on my want to try list for a little while now. I'm missing volume 1, so I need to keep an eye out for volume 1. I think only 4 or 5 volumes are out at the moment, so I don't think it'll take me long to catch up, really, which is nice. Next we have World's End Harem Volume 10. World's End Harem is hard to find now. I don't know if like there's no more prints or it just like everyone really wants to read it. But found this one when I was in Manchester and I got very excited because 10 is one that Blackwell's don't have listed as a notify me when it's in stock, and Amazon didn't even have a listing. So yeah, picked this one up and I just need 9, 11 and 12, and I think that's World Tenkan Complete. I think it's only 12 volumes, but there's a sequel. I could be wrong because I've not looked into it too closely. It's got such loose plastic wrap on this one. Oh, so strange. Final volume in the stack. I'm not even sure how long I've been recording at this point, but I'm a little parched. I should drink some more water. You can see how much water I've drunk. This was full. I should have drunk more. But yes, our last volume is Watakoi Love is Hard for an Otaku, volume 5. I think there's only one more volume for it to be complete, but I assume it won't be an omnibus. It'll just be a single because there were 11 volumes in Japan. So they can't do an omnibus because there's only one more volume left. And that comes out in the next few months, like May, June time was what I saw looking at Blackwell's. Yeah, I picked it up because it was $14.99 at Forbidden Planet, which actually isn't too bad for a slightly bigger Kodansha volume. I read volume 1 and I gotta be honest, I did enjoy it, but I didn't understand why it seems to be as big as it is. I found it a little dull. It was fine, but I've also heard that it gets better. So I need to get back into it. I need to do some more reading, and yeah, I'm quite excited by this. I like the covers. I like this one's purple and the spines. Yeah. So yeah, that was my December haul. December is always very skewed because I tend to go out a lot more than I do in other months, and I have more time to look up cheap deals online than I normally would. It won't be this big again, although January is my birthday month and people often get me manga for my birthday, but I'm not even paying for that, so that's fine. But yeah, I am crazy happy with this haul. There was so many new releases. It's insane. Oh my goodness. Yes, I want to wrap up because this is going to be a crazy long video as is. If you haven't already, don't forget to like this video. Leave a comment on what you thought. Do you see anything that you want to read? Anything you have read? Did you agree, disagree with anything I said? Let me know. And if you're new, consider subscribing. And yeah, check out my social medias linked down below. If you have gotten this far into the video, thank you so much. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you found it enjoyable, pleasant, interesting. Yeah. But yes, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.